Hi. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am and why I am a career clarity coach and why I am a coach especially for people in the arts and culture and media field. So, my name is Laura Lehtola. I am 41 years old. I am married and a mother of two boys, 9 and 12 years old. I live in Germany and I moved here in 2017 because my husband got a job at a local opera house. There are many of them here in Germany. Um, as a coach, I have officially been working since April 2021. I got my coaching education here in Germany, in Heidelberg, for 2.5 years in systemic methods. And my path into coaching wasn't a very straight one, and but it was really worth it, I have to say. So, I have been working in the arts and culture and media field for over 15 years. I used to work in many different roles in this field in Finland. I started with producing festivals. I was doing a chamber music festival in my hometown in Vaasa in western Finland. I got this position as a director of the festival at a very young age. I was only 22 maybe. I had been studying arts and culture management in Turku before that, and I just kind of got a very quick start for my career. I had decided to study culture management because I don't know. I basically what I found out in older age about the reasons why I did that, why I chose that profession was basically, well, I liked art, I liked culture, and I thought that's just a very secure way of working in that field, so to say. I wanted also to study psychology or journalism, but I just got into this arts management school before I even had the time to really apply for the other universities. So that was kind of how I started working in the culture field. Um, Managing the festival at such a young age was a very, very stressful experience. I don't think I actually performed very well. But yeah, I still continued working on different kinds of opera productions, for example, working on different festivals. I took on a little bit more of a PR kind of work at different organizations. But basically, back then at 24, I think I was at that time, I decided no, culture management is not for me. No, 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 I don't really want to do that. So I wanted to educate myself some more and get a little deeper perspective into music. I started studying musicology and classical singing. Classical music, as it turns out later when I got to know myself a little bit better, wasn't really originally my own choice. It was just something that was heavily encouraged by my parents and by my music teacher at the time, back when I was in school. Pop music, other types of things weren't that were seen as not as good by the people in my life, the educators and others at that time. So that was kind of a world I just knew because of my experiences in my family and in my school. So that's kind of the reason why I started working in classical music in the first place. I myself was actually more interested in pop and jazz, but that path kind of never opened for me, at least back then. So I started studying musicology and classical singing, because I did get bitten by a opera bug back when I was 16, and got involved in an opera project in my hometown. So that's when I really honestly fell in love with opera, not just because it was kind of presented to me by my parents or by my teachers, but I really did genuinely fall in love with the world and with the music. So I studied musicology, I studied singing, I got some jobs as a singer as well, and I was kind of pursuing a career as a singer, but a little bit half-heartedly, I have to say. In the end, I kind of always thought that that's not going to be my life, even if I would have wanted to, whatever the reason for that was. But yeah, then I kind of found myself into the world of music journalism, and did a traineeship at the Finnish broadcasting company, and ended up working for many years for them in their classical music department as a journalist and as a producer. And that was a really nice job. I really loved my colleagues. I loved that world. I did have fun, but the last years before we moved to Germany, I was working as a producer, kind of doing that culture management stuff again, and it still felt like a shoe that doesn't really fit me. I didn't really realize what was the problem. I wasn't bad at it. I had nice projects. My team was fantastic. I loved my colleagues. I got a kick out of the productions we did. I was genuinely interested in the topics, but still, there was this feeling of, this is not me. I am not a producer. I remember telling to my friend with these words, I am not a producer. So then my husband received this job opportunity in Germany, and we decided to move. We moved to Germany, to southwestern Germany with our family. And at that point, I was exhausted. I was so exhausted from the work because I had many projects. I had been living for 6 months alone with the children in Finland because my husband started his job already before we could move. I was involved in selling my childhood home, and there were just a lot of very stressful processes going on at that time. And when we arrived to Germany, it was clear to me that I am not going to be able to continue the way I had been doing things. Something had to change, and the thought of me applying for some kinds of roles in cultural organizations felt like I wanted to die. It really felt like that. Like I would die if I would do that. It was for me at that point, it was a matter of life and death, even if it sounds little bit dramatic. But I knew that if I would continue on my professional path, I would be so unhappy that I would at least die inside, if not physically. So I was kind of forced to look into what do I want to do professionally. I was 34, 35 years old, and I knew that I have decades of working life, and I do have the motivation and the interest to do stuff and to make a difference in the world. So I started to kind of digging into myself, to my interests, to my abilities, to my motivations, my genuine qualities. And I found out that a couple of things that I already mentioned. I found out that classical music wasn't originally my own choice, even if I love it now. I found out that arts management was my choice, yes, but the reasons for this choice were something else than what had to do with my abilities and my qualities and my interests. Like the content of the work as an arts manager wasn't a match with my qualities, at least 100%. I mean, I do have organizational qualities, I do have qualities that match that job, but they aren't the qualities that are important for me in myself. These aren't the qualities I want to present to the world. They are just qualities that I do have and that do help me in anything I do, but it's not the thing I want to use mainly in my professional life. I found out that I had actually originally and always been interested in philosophy and psychology. Just the human psychology, our stories, our soul has always been a fascination of mine and still is. That's the number one interest I have in the world. And I looked into my qualities. I found out that it became conscious to me that I am a good listener. I do already listen and help people in my life a lot, colleagues, friends. I seem to have the quality of people wanted to come to me with their problems, which is nice. It's an honor. And yeah, then I started to look into what kind of professions, roles, tasks are there in the world that match these interests and qualities of mine. And for me, quite important was that these roles, these tasks have to be something that really profit other people as well. I didn't ever see like that this is only about me, because that had always been the kind of question of mine, like, does my work have a purpose? Like, it just was always so important to me to know that my work was somehow purposeful and meaningful, not only for me, but just like generally. And funny enough, even if I can now see how important culture managers are, somehow I never really had the feeling that my work would have a purpose. Like producing classical music radio programs, funnily enough, didn't seem purposeful for me, even if it is. But after my analysis of that, I've come to the conclusion that sure, it has a purpose in the world, a very important purpose. But since it wasn't in accordance with my qualities and my deepest interests and what I want to contribute in the world, there was this lack of purposefulness for me in that work. So I found that one of the roles that fit into this kind of situation would be coaching, and yeah, and I am on that path now, and I am so happy I did this work with myself. I do sometimes miss working in the radio, working in the broadcasting. First of all, I miss my colleagues. somehow still feel like I am working in the broadcasting business, even if I haven't been working there for several years now. It just stays always a part of me. But doing something that fits your genuine interests and the qualities that you have, that you want to express in the world, it's just priceless. It gives you so much energy and so much power to make a difference in the world that's why I now want to help others to achieve this kind of clarity about their career. So that's my story. That's why I work with artists and people in the arts industry. The love for arts, the love for music, the love for this world has never left me. But this is the role I want to take in this world of arts and culture and creative businesses. So, yeah, that was a little story about me. Now you know who I am and what my history is. And I hope you subscribe to my channel and enjoy my videos, my talks with people from this industry. And yeah, see you on my channel.